Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? Just wanted to show you today a unique fitness tech tool. It's called the Fitbit Surge, and it is a heart rate monitor, fitness tracker. It's the green lights blinking, it's checking your heart rate. Pretty good device. I have a fairly large size wrist, so I chose the large size and it fits me quite well. Here's what that looks like. And now that I've lost some weight, when I first got this and I first started my journey, I was like the third to last rung, and now I'm like the fifth one in, and it's pretty cool. I like it. The only thing, probably only one or two little cons that I'll dislike about it is the connector. It is a proprietary connector and it's a little hard to see. I'll scoot in here so you can see it. So it's not a USB, micro USB, or a lightning cable. It's sort of its own little thing. So if I want to repurpose some of my existing cables, I can't do that. So that is sad. But other than that, here are all the pros. It's got continuous heart rate monitoring, so the blinking green light will check your pulse all throughout the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The amount of time it takes to charge the thing from dead empty to full is approximately an hour and a half, 2 hours, I believe, from my research. I normally never get it that low. What I do is every day when I go to the gym on the way there, it takes me about 10-15 minutes to get there. I just plug it in, and then doing that several days throughout the week, it's just always sort of topped off, and it works fine. Some other nice things about the watch: it has an always-on display, so I can always tell the time and the date. I've used other smartwatches like the Apple Watch. I've also used the Nike Fuel Band. I've used the Things, heart rate, step counter. After comparing kind of all of those, this is sort of for someone that's into fitness, someone that's into health, someone that's into going above and beyond and pushing past that next level. Then the Apple Watch really, I'm a huge Apple fan. I mean, I sport the iPhone, and I'm typically on the latest and greatest that they offer. I used to use Android, so I do have knowledge on both systems, but this one here particularly has just caught my eye because it actually does exercise tracking and exercise recognition, and you can program this to start at like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it sort of already knows the workouts that I'm doing. The only one it doesn't catch is weights. But what it does is, like, if I'm walking, for example, and I start walking for half an hour and I just forget to initiate a exercise tracking setting on the watch, it will actually start it up and it'll actually log it for me. And it'll log it whatever it thinks, whatever exercise it was doing. So for example, if it was walking, or if it sees something similar. When I was mowing the yard the other day, it's up there for half an hour, and it says, "Oh, you walked for half an hour." I'm like, no, I actually was able to go in there and say mowing the lawn. And it adjusted my calories burned because it was a less intense of a walk. I mean, it was intense, but it was not as quick as a typical walk would be. What's also nice is that you have these sort of I'm gonna scoot in here, these customizable screens where I'm looking at the viewfinder so I can see what we're talking about. So I can, when I click into exercises, I can say, okay, so this is the elliptical. That's my first one. If I swipe to the left, I've got just plain old workout. And now if I go back and swipe to the right, spinning, like hopping on a stationary bike, weights, so that's good for weight training, walk, and it actually has GPS, so you can kind of, if GPS is a big thing, which the Apple Watch unfortunately did not have, it can at least track your GPS position and give you an accurate reading. Hike, so I've just added my favorites onto the watch. It also has, because a lot of light in here, there's the screen lights up automatically when it's dark or not. So if I tilt my wrist forward, the device will light up for me. It's good when I'm sleeping. I do wear this in bed because in the app it does track sleeping and how much I've been sleeping over the past few days. Other than that, let me think. There's really not a lot of other features that I would really promote a lot about. The app really is kind of what sells it for me. It's got a good ecosystem, and there is a really nice shared friending system. I never thought having friends in my Fitbit was going to be a big thing. But for me, it's like there are these little challenges that I do. Like right now I'm in this challenge where it's the weekend challenge, and I'm just a couple thousand steps behind in the lead position. So, you know, we're battling it out to get to win the weekend challenge. And then there's a weekday challenge I hop in, and then there's a one-day challenge. So there's a lot of cool little challenges, and you can invite friends, and it'll even link up with your Facebook contacts, your contact book. Find all these cool friends and contacts that you have that have Fitbits. They already, as long as they've registered and they've used like their phone number or their email address that's registered like with their social media or if they're in your contacts, then you'll automatically see all your Fitbit friends, and you can ask them to be your friend. So I think that's good for competition. It's just good, healthy competition. It's nothing too strenuous, but at least sort of, if you see that you're only like 300 steps behind, like I was this last weekend with a friend of mine. Had I looked before I got out of bed, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go check the mail, and you know what, I might just go out there to the vehicle to make sure I've locked the doors, you know. So yeah, it's definitely encouraging. So the always on display, the sleep monitoring, the 5-ish day battery life, the comfortable band. It's a little bulky, but other than that, and unfortunately the proprietary connector, I have to plug it in, and I can't just leave it on while I'm charging it. That's okay. I don't think that's a big deal. But yeah, the Fitbit, love it. I would recommend it to anyone. This is the Surge. They have 2 new ones that came out recently. My wife actually has the Fitbit Charge HR, which is it's a Fitbit that looks at your heart rate. It's everything except for the big screen, but you can tap on it and it has a tiny little screen, but it tells you the time of the day, and it has caller ID. Oh, I forgot to mention that. You can get phone calls. As far as you can't answer them, but you can see who's calling and the phone number they're calling from, or if they're in your contact book, their name. And you can also get texts, and you can read the message of the text here on the device itself, which is very helpful. So some cool little features. It's not a full fledged smartwatch. There's no apps, so I can't install an app from the App Store, but it does integrate with the Fitbit app, which that Fitbit app integrates with MyFitnessPal, and MyFitnessPal integrates with Runkeeper. So, you know, once you get in your foot in the door in one of these systems, it'll eventually work out with a lot of them. But yeah, definitely, this is my go-to gadget. If I go to the gym without this, I feel like it's lost. I don't get to count how many calories I burnt. I don't get to see my heart rate throughout the day. I'm going to show some screens here of what the Fitbit app looks like, a little walkthrough, sort of my favorite places and little highlights and things. So take a look at the app and let me know what you think. Be sure to comment, subscribe, and like this video if this actually helped you out and you found this useful. Price wise, I didn't mention that. I believe it's about $3 something for this one. They have a $299 one that has a color display, but it's not always on, so that's the only downside for me, and I really like that feature. But yeah, please comment, like, or subscribe down below, and let's talk about this. What's your favorite fitness app or fitness either workout band or fitness app? I'd love to hear from you, and then let's talk about it. Maybe we can talk about your app or your fitness device of your choice.
Okay, here's my review of the Fitbit app. This will just be a quick review to show you some of the features and show you some of my favorite points of it. So as you guys have noticed, I am using the Fitbit Surge. It kind of tells you here, after that, tells you your steps that you've taken so far today, your current heart rate, how many miles you've walked, calories you've burned, floors you've walked, active minutes, the last exercise you did. Also, sort of like where you're at in your goal. I have 60 pounds to go. I've also released about 58, so I'm about the halfway point. Hours of sleep, how many calories I've consumed, and if you factor in exercise, this would be, I could have potentially up to 2,300 more calories and still not gain weight. I would maintain if I get up to that amount. 3,312 milliliters of water I can consume in a day, and then 9 hours of walking each hour, at least 250 steps. Just going to kick into some of these categories here. If I click on the account tab and click on the Surge, I can set up silent alarms. I can define which wrist it shows up. I can change the clock if I don't like the way that it looks. That's kind of nice. And then even control music, like if I want to hit pause, right? If I've got my phone in my pocket, I don't want to take it out. That's very nice to be able to do. I can set custom standing goals. I have all day sync turned on, and there's even a little guide here. So that's that. If I look at the another category that's kind of fun is your heart rate. So if I expand this out, I can move the get this works here. Get this back into the frame. If I move my this is my resting heart rate over a period of 30 days. So it's gone up and then it's starting to come back down soon. So that's good to know. Lets you know, I guess essentially the better shape you're in, the lower your resting rate should end up being. If I click on an individual day and then turn it sideways, I can even sort of hover over each one of these sections and see what was my heart rate at different times in the day. Was I doing something strenuous here? Is that why it was elevated? Was I in a stressful situation? Good to know. So backing up. I also have the Fitbit Aria, so it syncs my weight. What it does is it sends like electrode from one foot to the next foot. Obviously it doesn't hurt when it does that. But what it does is it tells me my progress over time. It automatically logs a bullet point on this chart as I'm dropping the weight. So this is since April 1st. I can also come in here and see my body fat percentage as it's lowering. Also my BMI. I think I started in the mid-40s, upper 40s, I think. Let's see. Oh yeah, it'll tell me. Excellent. So I'm going to back that up. So yeah, 43, and I'm getting close to the mid to low 30s. That's kind of nice to see that. And let's go back. And this is probably my favorite part of the app. This is probably the most helpful part. I can't believe I just said fart. Sorry. If you turn it this way, I can see this is when I got the Aria, and I was at 287 pounds. 41% of that was fat, which is 169.7 lean pounds with 117 pounds of fat. If I come down today, 158 lean pounds and 94 pounds of fat. So going back, 117 pounds of fat, 94 pounds of fat. So I have essentially lost a significant amount of fat, but I've also lost some of my lean mass, and that really occurred up until the April 1st dip that you see here in the listing. Ideally, as you're working out, you should be gaining lean mass. You don't want to be losing. If you're losing lean mass, then that's sort of scary. Now, this reading isn't spot on. But for me, I just look at it as a general rule of thumb. Am I making general improvements, or am I going the wrong way? So hopefully over time, these measurements will measure out, and it'll show that I'm gaining lean muscle mass, and I'm losing a lot of that fat mass. So blue line goes up, green line goes down. That's the goal, and that's the majority of what I want to show you here on the app. There are these challenges here, so I could set up a weekend warrior challenge. I'm halfway through it because it's Saturday evening. Second place, Jay's got me beat, so I gotta catch up. So this is pretty fun. I did a one the previous week, which ended, and I ended up in second place. So very competitive here. Seeing these here, if I would have only opened up the app at the end of the day, I would have known that I had only 400 steps from 500 steps from beating Jay. I probably would have definitely gone up for that extra walk. Yeah, so that's it. It's just an encouragement. You can add friends, and you can even spin up new challenges for you and your friends right here. So that's the app. I hope you enjoy it. Enjoyed this review, this talk about fitness, and using an app to sort of help you along the way. Take care.